Welcome back to Paternus, Rise of Gods, the audio discussion, where our cohort of fantasy booksters pontificate on the ins and outs of each chapter that seems to open another door into a world older, darker, and far more complex than we imagined. Today, we're diving into Chapter 3, Obsidian, and let's just say, we're not sure where the hell it's going. Ancient beings, secret societies, a power struggle among gods that feels eerily corporate. It's here the mythological meets the bureaucratic, and monsters may not be the villains you think they are. From office politics among immortals to ancient languages steeped in magic, our crew of pale scriptorium dwellers peel back the obsidian curtain and explore a whole new layer of the supernatural. So buckle in, fantasy nerds. The world just got a whole lot bigger. Take it away, Winston, Lilith, and Marcus.
Thanks, Commander Big Pipes. That was quite the epic intro. Alrighty, my fellow urban fantasy nerds. Paternus, Rise of Gods. Chapter number 3, Obsidian. What the heck? Did we start a new book? Monsters? Firstborn? There's lots to unpack in this chapter, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Well then, grab those pints, and let's dig into it. Ancient myths and legends tell us monsters are purely evil creatures. But what if the real story is far more complex? In this chapter, we're exploring a fascinating twist of the story that turns our assumptions about good, evil, and power completely sideways.
Okay then, I guess we're off on a new adventure. I was a little confused, but I guess the author is building the foundation for a much bigger world than I anticipated. The way this chapter jumps in and challenges our traditional monster narratives is really compelling. These beings have office politics and workplace drama just like humans do.
Yeah, setting the stage for something bigger. I guess this is exactly what makes it so fascinating. Take Ao Guang, for instance. Here's this massive, ancient creature who was once worshipped as the Dragon King of the Eastern Sea. But he's basically dealing with middle management frustrations because a younger colleague got promoted over him.
It's like a supernatural version of that feeling when someone with less experience becomes your boss, isn't it?
Why, yes. And what's really interesting is how the chapter builds these layers of power and authority. These beings, who've been around for millennia, who've been literal gods to humans, are themselves just middle management in a much larger organization.
The historical scope is pretty mind-bending when you think about it. We're talking about creatures who've witnessed multiple rises and falls of human civilization.
You know what's particularly fascinating? The way language plays into the power dynamics. Each character speaks in a different ancient tongue, pre-Sino-Tibetan, Akkadian, Older English, and there's this concept that older words carry more magical weight. It's like linguistic archaeology meets supernatural hierarchy.
Well, that brings up an interesting point about how the piece handles time. These beings have existed for thousands of years, yet they're still caught up in very immediate, relatable concerns.
And let's talk about Dimmi for a moment. This terrifying hyena-human hybrid who's been working as a mercenary in modern Africa. The way he's described as having these almost endearing nervous habits, while also being capable of horrific violence. It's such a complex characterization.
The contrast between their appearances and behaviors is really striking. Like how Baphomet, despite his goat-like features and backward-bending knees, is this sophisticated manipulator who's been running secret societies for centuries.
Speaking of secret societies, the chapter does something really clever with historical references. Like how it connects Baphomet to real occult movements and the invention of the inverted pentagram. It's weaving actual historical events into this larger supernatural narrative.
The attention to detail in the magical elements is pretty impressive too. All those specific herbs and materials mentioned are things actually used in traditional magic and medicine.
And that final scene in the Obsidian cave, the way it builds tension through these increasingly rare and powerful magical items. Those 3 pendants made from some of the rarest materials in existence, including that mysterious blood-red meteorite metal.
That whole sequence really drives home how there's always something more powerful out there, doesn't it? Even these terrifying beings can become prey themselves.
Exactly. And what's particularly effective is how the piece shows this through their reactions. When these powerful creatures who've been casually torturing humans suddenly become terrified themselves, well, it really makes you wonder about this mother witch they've encountered.
The sensory details in that final reveal are so well crafted. The purple flash from the obsidian walls, the scent of lilacs and frankincense, those burnished gold eyes. It's like all these elements come together to signal we've moved into an even deeper level of supernatural power.
You know what this all reminds me of? Those Russian nesting dolls. Just when you think you've found the biggest monster, you discover there's an even bigger one containing it. It really challenges our assumptions about power and authority in fascinating ways.
So what do you think this suggests about the larger story? About this master plan these beings are part of?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. The text hints at multiple holocausts in human history, at civilizations rising and falling repeatedly. These beings seem to be planning something big, something that could change the world again. And now, they've encountered this mother witch who hasn't been seen since the last Holocaust. It suggests we're about to see an even deeper layer of this world's power structure revealed.
The implications for human history are pretty staggering when you think about it. Our recorded history might just be the tip of the iceberg.
And that might be the most unsettling idea of all. That our entire understanding of history, of our place in the world, could be just a tiny fragment of a much larger story. These beings have been watching us rise and fall, playing their own games for far longer than we can imagine.
Okay, gang, I think we started a much grander adventure than we had anticipated. How does all of what we've experienced thus far tie together? I have lots of questions. Now I'm even more intrigued to see what comes next. On to Chapter 4, Paternus, Rise of Gods. I can't wait to see what lurks around the corner and look forward to our next discussion. Cheers.
See ya.
Yeah, later guys.
That was Chapter 3 of Paternus, Rise of Gods. And with that Obsidian cave, a new level of the myth has been unlocked. The stakes are rising, the players are shifting, and the gods are not who we thought they were. If you're hooked and want to follow along, grab your copy of Paternus, Rise of Gods, available in print, ebook, and audiobook formats on Amazon. You'll find our affiliate link in the show notes. Using it helps support this podcast and keeps the deep dives coming. What do you think of our gang of fascinating fantasy fans spinning the yarn on the world of Paternus? If you're enjoying the journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and chronicle your thoughts in a review. It means the world to us and helps others discover the myth beneath the modern. Next up, Chapter 4. More revelations, more questions, and perhaps more monsters. Until then, keep reading, keep listening, keep wondering, and remember, the real world is only the surface.